Okay, this is for classwork 14A. I'm going to do a couple of the problems. Of course, I'm going to start with an easier one, but each will be a separate video. So if you don't need to see how to do number 20, then you don't have to listen to this one. So I am going to do problem number 20. Okay, and I am getting used to this pen. So I'm not so neat. 9x to the 5th y all over square root of 12 x squared y to the 6th. X squared y to the 6th, okay? And there is not just one way to do this. People look at it, see different ways. I'm going to do it the way I think is the easiest. If you want to do it a different way, I'm okay with that. So I'm going to look at the top, and I'm looking for perfect squares. Pairs are going to come out of the radical. I see 9, and I know 3 comes out, because 3 times 3 is 9, so one of the pairs comes out. When I get to x, how many pairs? I have 2 pairs, and then I have 1 x left over. The y is all by itself, so it's staying inside. I'm going to the bottom. I have square root of 12. I know 12 is what? 4 times 3, right? 4 is a perfect square. So 4 is going to come out as a 2. X is going to come out as 1 because I have 2 of them. Y, I have 3 pairs of 2. And inside is going to stay my 3. That 3, 4 times 3. So y, I'm just going to show you on the variables. For some reason, when it's numbers, students are really good at it. And then when I throw a variable in, they're like, what? So think about it. I have 6 y's, right? And if you circle every 2, oh, look, I have 3 pairs of y, and that's how I got y cubed. Okay. Next step, I'm going to simplify. You could wait to simplify. It doesn't matter. But I have x squared over x, and we've already had a test on simplifying exponents. So I'm going to call that 3x square root of xy over 2y cubed, square root of 3. Okay, so I just did x squared over x is x. Then I'm looking at this radical, and I can't leave square root of 3 in the bottom. You can't have a radical in the denominator. So I need to get rid of it. You can't just erase it because you don't like it. You need to do something mathematically that makes sense. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 1, okay? Isn't square root of 3 over square root of 3 1, okay? And watch what happens. When I multiply the top, when you have something in a radical, if it's in the radical, it stays in the radical. If it's outside the radical, it stays outside. You can't move things in and out. So square root of 3 times the square root of xy ends up square root of 3xy. In the bottom, I'm going to have 2y cubed. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. Okay, but I got to simplify again. But if you notice, you could do 3 times 2 is 6. 3 over 6 is a half. Or simplify before you multiply. Just cross off the 3's. 3 over 3 is just 1. Okay, so now I have x square root of 3xy. Let me fix that y. Over, look at this. I'm getting really bad. 2y cubed. And that is the answer to number 20, okay?